Do you want to know why Tom Brady is so explosive, so fast and so agile? Or do you want to know why Usain Bolt can run 9.58 seconds for a 100-meter race? Or do you want to know why this girl is looking at that boy's ass? So if you want to know the secret of all these things, then this video is made for you. What's up guys, welcome to another video at Movement Mechanics, and today I'm going to give you top 4 exercises which are going to grow your glutes. Now this video is starting off a video series which I'm going to make in the future. Now I'm going to make a video series of say 10 to 15 videos where I'm going to target each and every muscle group of the human body and give you top 4 exercises which are going to help you grow those muscle groups. So stay tuned for the entire series. Now when we talk about the glutes, it is not just the glute maximus we need to talk about. We need to talk about the other two muscles, which is the glute minimus and glute medius. Now these two muscles are also important. They are the abductor of the hip joint. That means they do abduction movement, which is going away from the center of the body. Now when we talk about glute minimus, it not only abducts but also helps in stabilization of the pelvis. And when we talk about the glute medius, apart from abduction, it also does medial rotation of the hip joint. So let's start from our favorite muscle group, which is the glute maximus, the flesh of your bum. Now when we talk about the glute maximus, of course I'm going to talk about the back squat, but the low bar squat. Now I've made a thorough video why you should do a low bar squat and why a low bar squat is glute dominant and not quad dominant. If you want to know, make sure you hit the I button. When we talk about the low bar squat, it becomes a glute dominant exercise and not quad dominant exercise because of the force vector which is going through the exercise over here. Now the force vector is predominantly onto the glutes, and hence your glutes are working more as compared to your quads. Hence when you're targeting about dominating your glutes or engaging your glutes via a squat, you should do a low bar squat and not a high bar back squat. Moving from the back squat, we are talking about my favorite glute dominant exercise, which is the hip thrust. Now the hip thrust is the best exercise for targeting your glute maximus because it gives you the entire hip flexion and hip extension which is necessary for isolating and engaging your glute maximus. Though I am talking about isolating the glute maximus, there is of course contribution from your hamstrings and from your adductors in order to gain that hip extension, but around about 80 to 85% of the movement happens with the help of your glute maximus. Hence I am talking about isolation of the glute maximus with the help of the hip thrust. Now this exercise is the best exercise for engaging your glute maximus because you get the full range of your hip extension and flexion and also slight hyperextension at the top. At the end, you have to squeeze your glutes properly so that you engage those glute maximus entirely and gain the most of the benefits with the help of this tremendous exercise. If you can see, I'm in love with this box and this mat because it is going to give me another best exercise for the hips, which is the single leg hip thrust. Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of hip thrust. I've mentioned in this video and previous videos as well, but we need to target the hip glute maximus unilaterally as well. The reason is, if you are running, if you are doing any agility work, or if you are doing any sort of activity, it is going to be unilateral when we talk about sports. Hence, we need to gain that unilateral strength in your glute max so that you can mimic the exact same movements in the gym as well as onto the field, because onto the field it is going to be unilateral and not bilateral. So doing a single leg hip thrust is a very good exercise. Now this exercise has got its own benefits. It is not just going to target your glute max, but it is also going to target your glute medius and minimus. The reason is you are moving the bar with a single leg. That means your only one glute is going to be activated. That's the reason the stabilizer muscle, which is glute medius and minimus, have to be engaged all the time in this exercise, and hence you are going to get the overall benefits of this exercise not only in your glute max but also in your glute medius and minimus as well. When we talk about this small piece of band, this is a very useful equipment when we are talking about strengthening your glute medius and glute minimus. Of course, I'm talking about the lateral band walk. Now the lateral band walk is the best exercise for targeting your glute medius and the minimus because it is going to help you strengthen the lateral aspect of your leg. Now the lateral aspect is of course your glute medius and minimus. That means you are going to target the abduction movement of the hip, and this exercise is very useful if you do it properly. So the first cue which I give to my athletes and my clients is maintain the tension between the band. That means you don't need to bring your legs close and reduce the tension of the band. The tension in the band should be maintained throughout the exercise so that you get the most of the benefits. Apart from that, you need to start the exercise in a quarter squat or slightly below than a quarter squat position and maintain that position throughout the exercise in order to get maximum benefits. And last but not the least, the foot placement. Now the foot placement is extremely critical when we talk about this exercise. Your feet should be straight, they should not be externally rotated or internally rotated to get the maximum benefit. And the last cue which I give is pushing the ground away. Now if you want to go to the right side in this movement, you need to push the ground away while going to the right side, and if you want to go to the left side, you need to push the ground away from your left leg in order to get maximum benefits onto your glute medius and minimus. At the start of the video, I gave an example of Tom Brady, I gave examples of Usain Bolt, or I gave example of girls staring at a boys, as the reason is the glutes are the most important part of the lower body, and you need to have strong glutes. May you are a normal person or may you are an athlete. If you are a general person who are just training to stay fit, the glute strength is very important in order to reduce or alleviate the risk of knee pain when you grow old. Hence, you need to have strong glutes from the start so that you alleviate the risk of knee pain, and also the strong glutes are going to look good on your body. And when you are talking about an athlete, of course the glute strength is extremely critical, because whenever you are running or when you are doing any sort of activity, there is going to be hip extension going on, there is going to be lots of hip stabilization going on, and hence the glute medius, the glute minimus and the glute maximus has to be strong. Now you would say that I've only talked about the glute maximus primarily in this video and only 1 or 2 exercises for the glute medius and the glute minimus. The reason is it's not just the glute maximus which is going to work when you are talking about the hip thrust or the squat. It is the glute medius and the medius which is also going to work for stabilization of the pelvis whenever you are doing this any fundamental exercise. So eventually we are going to get benefit from all these muscle groups whenever you are doing any glute dominant exercise. But if you want to isolate the glute medius and minimus, I've given you one very good exercise, which is the lateral band walk, in order to isolate these 2 muscle groups so that you get the maximum benefits from the exercise. Alright guys, these were the top 4 exercises which I'm going to give you for targeting your glute maximus, the glute medius and the glute medius, so that you gain a very good looking butt and also a very strong butt in order to do those explosive activities in the field. Now, this is the first video of the entire series which I'm going to make for you guys in order to give you various exercises for targeting each and every muscle group and help you grow those particular muscle groups. So stay tuned for the entire series. On that note, if you have loved this video, make sure to like, the share, the subscribe as well as the notification bell icon so that you never miss a video whenever I'm uploading a new one. Also, if you've got any doubts and comments regarding this video, or if you have got any other video suggestions which you want to cover in the future, make sure you drop that in the comment section. Alright guys, see you in the next one.